All right, welcome back. Shout out to Ashar and Dearheart. Dearheart says, "Hello, dog hater." Hello. I wanted to deal with something real quick. Well, not real quick. This might be a long live stream. It will most likely be a long live stream. But I wanted to deal with something. Here recently, for the first time, I looked at some recent LGBTQ parades for the first time. Now, for the record, I'm 110% heterosexual, okay? But I heard some things about these parades that I had to see, while I wanted to see, in order to verify. Why not? If somebody says it and I hear it and it sounds crazy, I want to see it. So I went and looked, and there it was. The combination of Satanism with the LGBTQ parades. They'll have it splashed across their flags and whatnot. What is that all about? And this is the Temple of Idaho. Just one temple out of many. And y'all remember these things started to flood the United States, I think in the 1980s. Anton LaVey established the Church of Satan in 1966. Okay? Anton LaVey, 1966, the Church of Satan. Now, I'm telling y'all something. This is pretty crazy. Did y'all know that in 1970 or the 1970s, dog attacks went through the roof? I don't exactly know why yet. But during the 1970s, dog attacks, especially fatalities, went through the roof. It skyrocketed. Now, for example, for whatever reason, this is no longer available on Wikipedia. So shout out to list.fandom.com, right? Make sure you check them out. They have somehow retained some of Wikipedia's old content. And it's interesting. This is crazy. Look, back in the day, Wikipedia used to have this. Y'all remember I used to show this? It's still on several of my old live streams. I think they're live streams on my other channel. They don't have this anymore. But Wikipedia actually used to have this exact same index. And it's a record of dog attack fatalities. Fatalities by dog attack. Well, Anton LaVey establishes the Church of Satan in 1966. But if you look at the 1960s, look at the number of dog attacks in, say, for example, the 1950s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 over a 10-year span. 8 dog attack fatalities over the course of 10, not 1 year, 10 years. We have more now in 6 months than we used to have in a decade. Why is there no politicians, professionals talking about this is beyond me. Lawyers, you name it. There's several different types of professionals that should be talking about this. 8 fatalities over 10 years. Okay, that's the 1950s. 1960s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 dog attack fatalities in 1960. 1966, Anton Levy, the Church of Satan. I believe it was the first one here in the United States. Isn't that correct? The first time, unprecedented. The first anybody ever heard of is Satan worship. Right? So, 11 over the course of 10 years through the 1960s. Look at the 1970s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. It went from 11 over the 60s to 32 over the 70s. That's a big jump. That's a huge jump. Now, maybe it's coincidental. Maybe it's not. Could there be something going on here? I don't know. I'm just saying it's kind of creepy. Well, anyways, we all know what happens after the 1970s. 1980s, boy, oh boy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. It starts getting ridiculous. In the 1990s, it just goes kind of haywire throughout the 90s. The 2000s, 2010s is really off the map. It's really off the map. There are very few things that have increased as rapidly as dog attacks. Both fatalities, all categories. Fatalities, just regular bites, hospitalizations, reconstructive surgeries, they've all skyrocketed, right? And nothing, and I mean nothing, has been done to reduce these attacks. That 1991 Dangerous Dogs Act was a fraud. That's why it didn't work. Okay? The point of it was not to put an end to dangerous dog attacks. Now, I don't like what I know or what I've heard about these Satan worshipers, because they're always tied in with human sacrifice. And from what I've heard, allegedly, they get into child sacrifice. It's pretty sick. Look at this. Fears and stories about an underground religion devoted to Satan, which demands and carries out child sacrifice, appeared in the United States in the late 20th century and became the subject of media reports supported by some mental health professionals. Some of you might remember the satanic panic, right? Satanic panic. Yeah, it skyrocketed. And I'm telling y'all, dog attacks in this country, in the United States, skyrocketed alongside with Satanism. They both skyrocketed at the exact same time. Satanism is normalized today. It's basically mainstream now. It's all in music. It's all over music. Okay, it's basically has its own genre. They have code words like occult rap, occult metal, but heavy metal, we all know Satanism intertwined with that for a long time. What's going on here? Y'all remember that politician? Who was that? A pro-Trump congresswoman, Taylor Greene, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who claimed that Hillary Clinton sacrificed and ate a baby. Sacrificed and ate a baby? Eh? People thought, what? Who is this lunatic? Make such a statement. Okay, well, do your research into this madness. You hear all kind of crazy stuff. You remember Mel Gibson allegedly accused Hollywood of child sacrifice and pedophilia. I don't even think I can say that word. Let me strike that word from the record. Right? That word. Publicist denies authenticity of viral Facebook post. Mel Gibson just went ham, right? People around the world said, oh no, what is he talking about? But for a couple decades now, a little over a couple decades, I've been following the occult. I mentioned how I was a part of, a book club, basically, like a book group. A bunch of people get together and they share books. This book, read that book, and this book talks about that, and so on and so forth. Well, a lot of it involved like these occult practices, type practices. And I've always saw this, but I didn't want to creep people out by talking about it. I've been seeing this for years now. I think I may have even started to talk about it on one of my videos. I may have tried to dabble in it a little bit. But I've been seeing this. That Satanism here in the United States, it skyrocketed around the 1970s. Right? Church of Satan, 1966. Quite obviously, 1970s. Obviously, when it picked up, it's still here. They got chapters everywhere. I just showed you the one in Idaho. What is this? I don't know, man. Look at these laws surrounding dog bans and dangerous dogs. Doesn't it seem like politicians want dog attacks to never stop? That's what it feels like. It feels like the lawmakers and people, they are making a conscious effort to make sure these attacks keep happening while projecting this image of trying to stop these attacks. That's what I feel. And it's very bad. Okay? I don't know what y'all doing or what y'all was doing, but might be here for a while because there's a lot of stuff we got to cover. There's a lot of stuff that's been going on here, and I can't keep up with it, as I said before. But
hundreds of American XL bully dogs are bred from pit bulls in the US through a legal loophole, and this is despite pit bulls being banned in the UK since 1991.
Yeah, and this comes after the Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has vowed to ban American XL bullies after a devastating spate of attacks, calling them a danger to our communities.
Well, let's look at that word danger. Just how dangerous is the breed? XL bullies are a cross, as we know, between American pit bull terriers, which have been banned in the UK since the early 90s.
Okay. Yeah, we know what they are. They're mutants. Worthless, inbred mutants. And it was immoral to create such a population of mutants. Anyway, they want to talk to this family. They want to talk to a family who owns an XL bully. And what I want y'all to look at first of all is that sofa. Is those pillows. I want you to look at that filth. That filth. That is that sofa. Okay? What do you think that sofa smells like? Look at that.
In place so far this year.
Well, look, here to talk about it is XL bully owner Alicia and Nick Elliott. And they've launched a petition against this potential government ban. And also joining us is animal behaviourist Pippa Apps in the studio. But Alicia, let's just start with you.
The behaviorists that you see on the media outlets everywhere, they're in on it. They'll bring them on the show and the behaviorists will speak out against bully XLs. No, they're in on it. This is a big promotion of bully breeds.
I know that I'm asking this question on behalf of probably the vast majority of people watching this right now. They're saying, what is a family with young children doing with a dog like that? What would you say to somebody who said that to you in the street? If they said to you, what are you doing with a dog that's that potentially dangerous?
Oh, that's a very straightforward question. Okay, I have to point that out. It's very straightforward. How do you respond to people who look at you and say, what are you doing with a dog like that? Knowing you got kids in the home. Now, these are parents. They have very, very young children. Very straightforward question. Listen to the answer.
I would say that he isn't dangerous.
Okay. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
He is a loyal, loving dog. Obviously, you know, we like his markings. There's more about him than him just being... I know he's a big dog, but there's other families out there with also big dogs.
Okay. So, in other words, she has no real answer when people ask a question like that. She just made it clear all she does is point out, hey, there are other big dogs. There are other dogs that can kill people. In other words, hey, I have no reason. Just excuse me and forgive me and overlook me because there are other large dogs.
As well, so the same...
Listen, man, this is sad and this is kind of creepy. And these people right here, they should be careful, man. They should be very careful.
Question could be asked to them as well. At the end of the day, he's not just our pet, he is our family.
Okay, that does not mean that it's harmless. It does not mean that it's not dangerous. So she just didn't answer the question. Well, she answered it, but what kind of answer is that? The person who suspected that you're out of your mind, because that's basically what they're asking. Anybody who would ask a question like that, like, hey, what are you doing? Are you out of your mind? Owning a dog like that, you got kids in the home? They're asking, are you out of your mind? The only answer you can give is, hey, other people are out of their mind too. That's basically submission and a confession.
You wouldn't ask everybody with a big dog the same question. I'll take issue with you on that. You'd ask somebody with that breed of dog that question, because as Susanna just said, 70% of the fatal attacks in this country have been carried out by that breed.
There is also other attacks that have been carried out. Obviously, it's awful what has happened.
So she does it again, the same answer again. Exact same answer again. She's just like, hey, other dogs kill too. This is, I'm telling you, this is a disturbing video right here. Very disturbing.
But they're not just... It's not that breed. It's not just that breed where there's attacks going off. Obviously, what has gone on recently, it is about the XL bully. However, there is also other stories that are out there as well. Obviously, I don't feel it's right for all of the XL bully breed to be banned when it isn't just... like, my dog has done nothing wrong, so why should he be muzzled? Why should he be banned when he hasn't done anything to anybody?
He's done nothing wrong. Lisa, he's done nothing wrong. The point is that this is what people are concerned about. Of course, he's done nothing wrong at the moment. We take your word for that. Absolutely. He's a good dog at the moment. But they're like ticking time bombs, aren't they? And if they blow, watch out. They are so dangerous once they've lost control.
I strongly disagree with that.
Go on.
Now, y'all heard what the journalist said. He said once they go into attack mode. Now, so the journalist has sort of shifted the discussion. And this guy is going there with him. He's shifted it. He said, hey, once these things do decide to attack, they're here. What did he say? Exactly what did he say?
At the moment. But they're like ticking time bombs, aren't they? And if they blow, watch out. They are so dangerous once they've lost control.
They are so dangerous once they've lost control. Now, that's irrefutable. Yes, they are. For pit bull advocates to deny that, it shows that you're not being logical or reasonable at all. And we should not even listen to these people because they're not being reasonable.
I strongly disagree with that.
Go on. Go on.
I'm sorry, I strongly disagree with that because that's any breed.
Okay, he said, I strongly disagree with that because that's any breed. He gives the same answer she gave. And that is, hey, there are other dangerous dogs. Even though the Bully XL would destroy a lab and several other large dogs that are not bully breeds, okay, that's all he can say. Hey, there are other dogs too. So he's not denying anything that they're saying. He's not. Neither of them are denying it.
Any breed can switch.
That's any breed.
Nick, why did you decide to get the American XL Bully? What was the reason that you chose that breed?
Because I seen him, I liked him. Obviously, he's a great family pet, and I wanted to take him home. I took him home, and he's made an absolute fantastic member of the family.
How much does he weigh?
He weighs roughly about 38 kg.
And I mean, he looks bigger than that, to be fair, but I mean, if you say it's 38 kilograms.
He is due to be at the vets. He is due to go to
Okay. Now, this is endangerment, so I can't show this. Can't show that. And of course, they're going to show the dog with the kids, right? But he has two kids, very young toddlers in the home, inside the home, where a muzzle is not required. See? So even the people who's talking about, hey, let's just enact a muzzle law, they're still not trying to put an end to these types of attacks. As a matter of fact, they're trying to actually restrict it to primarily these types of attacks on kids, because a muzzle law would most likely reduce attacks against like joggers and other adults who are out walking, right? But inside the home is fair game on the youngins.
couple of weeks.
Is he fully grown?
So we will
is he
know
fully
more.
grown?
I don't think he'll get any bigger than that. If he does, it'll be only literally a little bit. But yeah, he's as big as he'll get.
I mean, when we see...
Obviously, you can get different sizes.
Yeah, you've got 2 children, 2 boys, I think 10 and 6. And we can see a lovely interaction there. But
Okay, 10 and 6. 10 and 6. That's between the ages of the highest attack demographic. That's between 5 and 9, right? Keep that in mind too.
between your sons and the dog. I can't deny it makes me nervous to see.
Notice how they're showing the dog with the kid and the kid alone with the dog. Why? To try to project the thing as harmless. Let's like, look, that does not prove anything. All the kids that have ever been attacked, that get attacked every day, that have been attacked today, they was doing the same thing before they were attacked. What they do with the dog before their attack is irrelevant. And we all know it.
A dog of that size and strength around children. I had my own interaction with one of these types of dogs and was very concerned about children in the area. It was out of control in a public place. Why are you so confident that you can allow the dog to be around your children?
Wow. What a question. What a question. I thought this segment was more real than the others that I dealt with. It was more, realistic. Because these are more type of questions that I would ask. What in the world? What in the world makes you just know that this thing is not going to snap just like all the others snap every day? We do know a good percentage of them are going to snap every single day. It's a question of whether or not it will be yours. How do you know that it won't be yours? Wow. Okay, so we all know, and they know, the dog owners themselves know that they're just playing Russian roulette at the end of the day. We're just taking the chance anyways.
Because I also have another dog as well, who is obviously a completely different, she is a mixed breed. She is the complete opposite to Tank. She's very bouncy, full of life. Obviously, I know at the moment he is just, he's a bit nervous and a bit eager as to what's going on.
Why don't y'all just admit that we know it's deadly. We know it could snap at any time. We're just taking a chance anyways because we get off on taking the chance. Right? That is as unbiased as I could put it. But that is the bare minimum repetition of the facts, isn't it? They themselves have to admit that much.
In the living room, but as soon as we got him, he settled instantly. He's never turned on my kids. He's never turned on other people.
So all they have is their personal stories of how it hasn't attacked anybody yet, which is pathetic. Because we hear that exact same story after each attack. Okay, so it's basically nothing. They're not offering any insight at all.
People's kids. He's been very loyal since we've got him. He's been very loving. Would you say he's like a big teddy bear?
But Elisa, so often.
It's so loving, like a big teddy bear. So it sounds like she's trying to sort of use words to paint a mental picture of a dodo video in our mind. Oh, it's just loving, and it's like a big teddy bear, and like a dodo video. Okay, we get it.
I'm sorry to say this, but so often when you hear these terrible stories of children who've had their faces ripped off by dogs of that particular breed, the owner says, It never
Yeah,
happened.
but you've had that
Hang on,
you've
let
had
me
that
finish
with
the question,
Rottweilers
Nick.
as well,
The
and they're not
owner says it never happened before. Up until now, the dog was a lovely family dog. We had no concerns. And then the dog turns.
Excellent. 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 Now, that's more like my personal line of questioning. If I had to be politically correct, that's the way I would conduct this line of questioning for these
And
people.
it can turn on a dime. It can turn from the tiniest of reasons. Hand on heart, both of you, hand on heart, are you not at all concerned that this might go badly wrong?
Wow. Simple question. He's basically asking them, are you a zombie? Are you a couple of zombies or what? Are y'all not at all, not even a little, 10%? Are y'all not concerned just at all? Worried at all? This thing running around inside the home, off leash? Don't y'all research, wouldn't it, two so-called responsible dog owners like this, wouldn't they keep up with dog attacks on a daily basis? So y'all should be familiar with how often these things turn. And you're still not worried? And if you're not keeping up with dog attacks, wow, right?
No,
No.
I'm not, because he would not do that.
No, I don't.
It's not.
He would not do that. That's all they have. That's all they have to say. But they don't know. They have no idea. We all know that. But dog lovers themselves have said that there is no dog owner that can say for sure that their dog won't do something, won't attack someone. That dog can attack anyone at any time it gets good and ready, and we all know it. Y'all don't have no magical power over these dogs' brains, and you know it. I don't know why y'all trying to sell that to us. Nobody's buying that. Y'all lose control over these dogs all the time, and they attack you, the owners, all the time. Why should we listen to y'all?
It's not just because of the breed. You should be looking at the owner of the breed, how they bring the dog up, and I will strongly say that it's on any breed. It's how you bring your dog up. If you bring your dog up in a loving family, the dog's going to be in a loving family. If you bring your dog...
No. Wrong. See? Now, let's be honest. Is this low IQ or not? Is this low IQ or not? I feel like it is. Like, how can you not be aware? How can you not be aware that there are several owners of these dogs who don't abuse them, who raise them with love, hugs and kisses, loving in a loving family, and they turn? You see these families with these dogs, and they look like a loving family. They tell you they've always been loving family. They tell you they've raised them, never had a problem with them, never been aggressive. It just one day snapped. We hear these stories all the time. Why should we just believe you? Because to believe you would be to believe that they were all liars. No. That's unacceptable, man.
dog up to be rough and nasty, then it will be rough and nasty.
No. They all train themselves to be rough and nasty. You don't have to train. And this, I just talked about this. Okay, so I don't even got to go back into it. You don't have to train dogs to be aggressive. They'll train themselves to be aggressive. They're going to find something to chew on and bite on. And as they're doing that, they're training themselves. And they're feeling good, which is training them. And then one day they'll just attack a person. That's how it goes. These things have an instinct to attack. An instinct, all of them, regardless of breed. This is a dog thing, an instinct to bite, to attack. That's a universal with all dogs, regardless of breed. But with these are specifically fighting breeds, bred to fight, bred to get off on fighting, fight just to fight, just for the sport of fighting, for the pleasure of fighting. And they feel good when they attack. You don't have creatures like that as pets. Those are not pets under no circumstances. I'm not going to have no debate with y'all. Okay? See, this is why see, again, this is sad. Why I bring these people onto the show just to reveal that they have an extremely low IQ. Yeah, we know some people are not that bright. But man, they're really putting a spotlight on it in this video right here, this segment right here.
We've had a dog, like when we've been away, we've had people come and sit the dog that obviously do not live in our household. And
ma'am, she just doesn't get it. Neither one of them. They just don't get it. We hear you. We understand. It hasn't attacked anybody yet. We've heard it 1,000,000 times before. That's the point. Don't you understand that? That's the point. So just admit what we're trying to get you to admit, that you're playing Russian roulette with your life and your kid's life. Most importantly, with your kid's life, because they can't even fight off the attack, not even a little bit. They're completely vulnerable to an attack by one of these things, and y'all know it. And they are the most attacked demographic. Okay? Ain't nothing responsible about that. All bully breeds need to go.
Dog, like when we've been away, we've had people come and sit the dog that obviously do not live in our household, and there's never been any issues. In fact, everyone's always saying how loving he is.
Now, clearly, the government takes a different view. They have effectively demonised your dog, and as a result, new purchases will be banned, and you will have to muzzle your dog. And are you aware of the other restrictions that are going to be placed on your family member as you deal with him?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't fully agree with the muzzling side of it. I mean, like I've said, obviously I've got another dog as well. It just breaks my heart that I'm going to have to take both of my dogs on a walk and one's muzzled and one's not. I mean, obviously if they're going to bring...
Oh, wow. Take both my dogs on a walk. One muzzled and one's not. Now we know she can't even control that dog that you see with them. And she walks both of them at the same time. You know for a fact she can't control them. There's no way she could stop them things from attacking anybody. So she's endangering everybody every time she takes them outside. And she don't care. Just like a lunatic, a psychopath, sociopath. It's crazy. This is crazy.
Bring that in.
Like, okay, man, wow. Yeah, we got a lot of mentally ill people. We can't empower these people. What are y'all doing?
Place then, rather than
Personally,
obviously...
they should bring all big dogs should be muzzled.
Yeah, because...
He said all big dogs should be muzzled. Yeah, they should.
It's not just our...
They should. Every time you step outside, all dogs over 20 pounds should be muzzled when you step outside. But guess what? That does not protect the most attacked demographic. Okay? And just keep that in mind.
Our dog that, you know, that has been in the news. There has been other dogs that have been in the news as well, previous. However, I think if it is going to be a thing and they are going to say about muzzling, then why not bring big dogs to be muzzled? It's not even that. I mean, little dogs.
Let's bring our expert in. Pippa, we've deliberately given them a good run. Yeah. We didn't want to cut them off. We didn't want them to feel that they hadn't been able to make their arguments, but also we didn't want their children there because we were going to be speaking quite frankly about what these dogs are capable of. Now, you've heard them. You've listened to them. What do you think?
I mean, lots of dogs can be very loving family dogs. I do totally agree it's the hands that these dogs are in. But equally, these dogs have been bred for their strength, for protection, and they're a super breed. And we actually
They wasn't bred for protection. No, they were not. No, they were not. Bullfighting.
They're not even a breed. We don't actually know what they are made up.
Stop. We can identify bully breeds. Stop it. And the bully XLs, if it's a big bully breed, simple as that.
Of exactly as you said, we've now got pit bull semen that's coming over from America and being put into these breeds.
The pit bulls are banned.
Pit bulls are banned, but the semen's
not.
Yeah, exactly.
So it can be used to
super breed. And I think ultimately the whole industry needs reform. It's not about their dog. It's not about individual dogs in the paper.
No, but this is about specifically the ban on this
those,
XL bully dog.
Yes.
So what will that family have to do?
See, that tells me she's in on it. She is in on it. So she's in on the promotion of bully breeds. That's all this is. For her to put a stamp of approval of focusing on the XL bully, that lets you know.
Tank
Yep.
their dog as
Yep.
a result of this
Yeah.
ban.
So have to be muzzled when out, have to be castrated, and I believe all the dogs have to be...
Castrate all of them. That way they can't reproduce and they'll go extinct. That's what you do. There ain't no place in society for creatures like this. We don't keep lions and tigers for a reason. And there's no reason to keep these. They're inflicting the same damage that lions or tigers would inflict. Okay? That's why this is being discussed right now.
registered. Because we don't even know how many are in the country. You know, it's been 10 decades, one decade now of the bullying.
Do you
in
think,
the
as an
country.
expert, that Tank is safe?
I wouldn't say that any American bully is safe. No. And I think a muzzle is absolutely...
When they say that they are...
Okay, now, that was a good statement. None of them are safe.
They are great owners, and I'm sure they are.
Yeah,
They're loving
yeah.
and gentle and thoughtful owners, and they've had no problems at all with the dog.
Yeah.
Are you in any way reassured by that?
I'm not reassured, and I'm not reassured because breeders of this breed are not regulated. There is no definitive training for people to have this.
See that? She said the breeders are not regulated. So they're about to start to promote the idea of breeders and only being able to acquire. They just want to regulate the sale of the, I guess, right? Bigger punishments for backyard breeders. Only get your bully breed from a certified breeder. They sell dogs that attack too. That's the problem. What about that?
This breed, all this breed should mandatory have training when they have as a part.
See, more training, and make sure you buy them from a breeder. That's her solution. So she's in the dog industry too, up here posing as an opponent, as a advocate for safety. Stop it.
But we just need much more regulation across the whole industry.
She's not serious. You're not serious about safety talking like this. No. You can't be. This is zoinked out language to me. You're not serious about safety.
Because at the moment, they're being bred and we don't know what's out there. We don't even know how many are in the country.
Guys, what Pippa's basically saying to you, as an expert in her field, yeah, and she does know what she's talking about, what she's saying is that what you've got there is an unstable explosive. And at the moment, it's fine. Nothing's happening.
No, I strongly disagree with you on that.
But because you don't know,
100%
but because
on
you
that.
don't know of the specifics that have gone into the breed, you cannot know that the dog won't blow up one day.
I know.
He said you don't know the specifics that gone into the breed. So he's talking about how that dog was raised. That's what this journalist is talking about. You see, and that's what that lady is talking about. That's irrelevant. It doesn't matter how you raised them. So this is just a big circus. And they know it.
My dog.
Okay.
And he says, I know my dog. I know my dog. No, you don't. Hillbilly. You have the slightest idea if or when and if that mutt try to chomp your face or your wife's or your kids. You have no idea. And when it does, all you're going to do is scream, stumble, fall, right? Lose your balance and fail to stop the attack. And then tell a reporter that it's never shown aggression before, just like all the other owners of these mutants that snapped and attacked. You just a statistic waiting to happen.
But they're bred for protection, and it might well be that your dog is absolutely fine with them, but it's the instances of other people coming into the house, the instances of things happening outside, are scary incidents. You know, it's not these things that we can't...
No, he's absolutely friendly with anyone that comes in the house.
To be fair,
We've just had a cameraman come into our house with a sound guy, and he's done absolutely nothing. He's never met any of them before in their life.
he's just intrigued
He's
with
just
all
interested in what's going on.
Yeah, all the cameras.
Yeah, but he could be absolutely fine, but it's
I know
all the others that we don't know what has gone into their...
No, not all the others. See how she backs up off this? No, this one too. It ain't all the others. This one dangerous too. It got teeth, don't it? So they started to ease up off of them. Right? The XL Bully owner started to get aggressive. Hey, my dog's friendly. You don't tell me. Right? They're taking on that type of energy.
breed, and we don't know if the owners had any training. There needs to be responsible dog ownership out there.
Oh, it's about the others. If the owners don't have any training, no, it's them. There ain't no special type of magical trainer. Okay, stop with that. Stop it. Y'all being unrealistic now. Nope.
They see mandatory training for all these dogs. We need better
Training? No. There ain't no type of training to make these things harmless. Stop talking crazy. See, there they go. Every time. So this whole news segment, these things are just propaganda, and it's a promotion of bully breeds. That's ultimately all they're doing.
punishments under the Section 3 of the Dangerous Dogs Act for people who do have dogs. And we need people to understand about dog behaviour a lot more, the whole
Nick
industry.
and Alicia, before we let you go, what would you like to see? I know you've launched a petition to overturn the ban. What would you think would be a more effective measure?
I would like him to reconsider, obviously, this ban. I think it needs to be looked into thoroughly. I think it's a bit of a hasty decision to turn around and say, yeah, ban the breed. That isn't going to resolve anything at all. If anything, you know, they are a popular breed. There's a lot of people out there with XL bullies. I mean, a lot of people that are XL bully owners.
Why is he holding this thing by a leash? It's in its own home. Aren't dogs supposed to be safe when they're inside of a home? Oh, but there's guests inside the home, right? So, you know, you gotta hold it by a leash when there are guests. Okay. Keep the guests safe, right? But at any moment, this thing can snap and attack someone in the home, and we know it.
Are going to defend this. Obviously, you're going to get the other half.
All she does for the rest of this is babble. So does he. A bunch of nothing. More nothing. Babble. I don't know why they keep bringing these people on these shows. They're just promoting bully breeds, basically. That's what I gather from it. They're not serious. I'm not going to take no group of adults serious if they're not talking about at least banning all fighting breeds. Because I understand that German Shepherds and other dogs are dangerous, but most people don't have that much of an understanding of breeds like that. Most people view the fighting breed, the bully breed, as the fighting breed because that's what it was bred for. Like, if you're gonna ban one breed, obviously it should be the fighting breed, the one that was bred for. Why am I trying to explain this? Oh my goodness. This is so bad. That infection over there in the UK, I hope y'all doing okay over there. 3 people have caught it, as far as I'm aware. 3 people. Okay, incurable disease spreads through contact with infected animals' fluids. Okay, I wanted to point out that I suspect that this started to spread to humans through some very inhumane practices, if you know what I mean. That's what I suspect. Okay? You should suspect that too.
News live at 5 as the second dog attack in a week's time has now happened in Charlotte. CMPD says a 5-year-old was attacked yesterday on Fairchase Avenue near West Sugar Creek Road. Investigators say their initial investigation shows a group of kids were playing. They knocked on the door of a neighbor to invite more kids out to play. When the door opened, a dog reportedly escaped and attacked the victim. Another kid was able to run inside and get the owner to come out and get the dog.
Why did they say escape? It escaped. No, it didn't escape. It ran outside. It escaped. So some kids were playing. They said, hey, let's ask Johnny if he wants to play. They knock on the door. Somebody opens the door. Mutt runs through the door and attacks a 5-year-old. A 5-year-old. Okay? On site. No mention of ear pulling, tail pulling. So don't start, behaviorists. You haven't heard, so don't try to squeeze that in there. You didn't hear it anywhere.
Dog. The 5-year-old was taken to the hospital. The dog was surrendered to Animal Care and Control and was euthanized.
Oh, it has been euthanized. Good. Good. At least you got that right. But y'all euthanized it because you knew it was completely unprovoked. I wonder if they have it on film. You euthanized that dog because it attacked on sight, as they do quite often. They do that because they view them the same way they view other small animals. Just like you see them, they'll see a rabbit, they'll see a small dog, and boom, just tweak out and attack. They'll do the same. They do the same thing with kids. Look at the name of them. Bully. Why you think they got that name? The name tell you everything you need to know. Now this is scary. This is really scary. Mother calls on government to go much further on XL bully ban. What is the mother talking about? The mother of Jack Lease. She said banning the dog will help. Putting restrictions on them will prevent these types of attacks. In the long term, if backyard breeders still exist, they're going to create a new breed. And we could find ourselves in a few years in the same place. So she references to backyard breeders as well. I thought that was strange, being that this was the mother of Jack Lease. This is not a behaviorist on a news broadcast on a media outlet. And she also mentions the backyard breeders. So that's where they want to take this. They want to blame the breeding of these things. They're already bred to fight. You see what's happening? They're just coming up with more excuses with anything they can to not do nothing, to make sure that things remain in society. That's all this about. Going from one thing to the weather. Oh, it's the weather. Oh, it's the backyard breeders. Oh, it's the sun. The dog, the glare in its eye, it upsets the dog. They actually said that. What else have they said? Oh, it's the water. Oh, it's the sound of balloon pop. They will say any and everything. Oh, it's a sock on the kid's arm. Now it's backyard breeders. Anything to make sure that the things simply remain in society. So, unbelievably, the mother of Jack Leese goes on and on about backyard breeders, believe it or not. Broke my heart, man. I'm like, whoa. No, backyard breeders, no. That's not where we want to go. How y'all doing so far? We're almost done. Man, it's a lot of work to do. This is terrible right here. There's too much going on right now. Okay? Tip of the iceberg. Okay, that's not what I wanted. Is that the too many stories as well? It's pretty ridiculous, man. Okay? Is this the one I just played?
Closer to home, 2 violent dog attacks this week in Charlotte. In both cases, the dog did not have up-to-date rabies vaccinations and was euthanized. On Wednesday, a pit bull attacked a 5-year-old, leaving her with serious injuries while playing outside with friends. Today, WBTV's Loa Rose
Okay, that's the same story. Different media outlet.
Talked to the mother of the child and the man they're now calling a hero for jumping in to save that little girl. He joins us now live in that North Charlotte neighborhood. Lowell, how's that little girl doing this evening?
If I'm not mistaken, right? Both in Charlotte. Same story. Knocked on the door, right?
Well, Siobhan, I can tell you that this 5-year-old is back home recovering from her injuries and surgeries stemming from this attack. Now, this entire incident is sad, and it shows the best of humanity when someone is in need.
I heard the dog chase her down.
We heard the screaming. It was just terror.
Moments of terror for people in the Fairstone community Wednesday evening as children were playing outside.
From her arm to her private area to the back.
Oh, stop. Oh. A 5-year-old had her private area mauled by a dog. Oh, man. See, this is what we're talking about. Like, don't you think it's worth it to just never have a dog than to maybe one day have something like that happen? I just don't get it. I don't get the obsession. This is dog obsession. They just couldn't do without them a dog. Lord, make it stop.
It was just really horrific.
Man, we all looked outside and the dog was just mauling her. You know?
So this is the man who picked up an object and started wailing away on the dog. So this is the guy that's helping you fight off a pit bull off of a 5-year-old. Oh, help us. Okay. All right.
You know,
John Emmon, who lives in the neighborhood, didn't waste any time trying to save the little girl from the dog.
I came outside and grabbed this. And started beating it on the head.
What is that? He grabbed a stick.
Started beating it on the head with this.
That looked like a piece of chrome trim off the edge of a car door. What is that?
It started beating it on the head until it turned loose of her leg.
And it's bent. It's bent. This thing was just worthless. Now, this is a bully breed. When they attack, they get these endorphins released in their brain. And it numbs their sense of pain, makes them impervious to pain. That's why you can whack away on them, even with, I've heard baseball bats not even working. And here you have, I don't know, this man looked like he in his 60s. Man in his 60s with a piece of aluminum, a little thin piece of aluminum coming to help you.
The mother tells me the pit bull took chunks out of her daughter, requiring a
took chunks out of a 5-year-old, huh? And see, now people, I believe in the basic humanity of people. I believe people in their normal state of mind would not allow this to go on, this to be a norm. They put an end to attacks like this, no matter what they had to give up, even if it meant dogs. The only way this could be like this is if there's some type of real crazy, wicked, creepy entity, right? Making sure that it's in place. That's what I suspect.
Hour-long surgery.
Yeah, it was multiple bites. She had over 8 lacerations and punctures, deep ones.
The mother is now thankful for the quick action from her neighbor.
He wouldn't have been there. It could have been worse. The dog could have went for the jugular. You know, it could have been.
Could have went for the jugular, huh? Okay, so these are killers. We all know that, right? So why are people accepting killers in the community? Why are people so accepting of these things in community? How could it have been this normalized in society? It had to have been deliberate. And these dogs get promoted more than other dogs. That's a big problem. How backwards is that? But when it comes to anything else, they do the exact opposite. As soon as there a minimal amount of injuries, they completely ban it, wipe it clean from the shelves. But with dogs, the more attacks there are, the more they promote them.
And up here, you know, a main artery. I mean, I'm just so thankful.
I just grabbed the first thing I could grab, and it was automatic. I didn't think about nothing.
Man, this old man don't have a gun. He don't have no knife, not even a bat. He don't have nothing heavy.
The owner of 2 dogs who police say attacked.
Can you imagine you 5 years old under attack by a pit bull, bully breed? Here come a 68-year-old man with a piece of tin foil coming to help you. Man.
The owner of 2 dogs who police say attacked 2 women in University City have been charged. Queen City News first told you about the incident on Monday where 2 Cane Corso mixes attacked someone outside a daycare. The woman's family member tried to intervene and was also attacked. A woman who stepped in to help says only 1 dog had a leash and a collar. It took the owner an hour to show up.
Another unprovoked attack. Hey, this is crazy. These are all recent stories, people. All of them. Not even a day old. This one right here, 23 hours. None of them. I don't think any of them yet have been 24 hours old. Just pandemonium. It's crazy right now.
The Mirror's had
Whoa. Now, some of y'all know full well there's a lot of stuff I haven't dealt with yet. It's been that crazy. And what is this? It's September. This is crazy. It's usually like this in like July. June, July, August.
Of showbiz, Tom Bryant suffered a dog attack in full view of CCTV cameras during a dog walk in North London. As he was walking his dog last Saturday evening around Haringey, North London, he noticed a cyclist go past with a black bully-type dog running off the lead in front of her. Tom said he stopped to move out of the way, but the dog growled and lunged at Monty, his 3-year-old Shih Tzu, and said as he crossed the road...
You see that? See how that dog ran across the street? That's not territory aggression. That's not territory aggression. That's not predatory. The targets, the victims, they don't have to move fast. They're not doing it for food. It's genetic. It's what they were bred for. That's what they were bred for. They were bred to do that. And y'all managed to make an argument for them as family pets. That is kind of impressive.
And said as he crossed the road to get away, the dog suddenly ran across the street at him. Tom said, I scooped Monty up into the air as...
This man risked his life for his little dog. Man, oh man.
A man in his 50s is fighting for his life tonight after being attacked by 2 dogs in Sydney's southwest. He was walking past a property in Leppington when the dogs attacked, leaving him in a critical condition.
A quiet semi-rural road, the scene of a vicious dog attack. Emergency services called here just after 7:30 this morning. 2 Rottweilers, a male and a female, had lunged at a man who was simply walking past their property.
The female one's friendly, the male one isn't.
The dogs had apparently escaped when the gate to the property was left open.
Okay, unprovoked. They're all unprovoked. What's going on? This was 5 days ago. I think I read about this. I think I talked about it, but it was, I just read it.
They were barking all night, which isn't uncommon, but for the gate to be left open, kind of is.
Neighbour Stan Raimondi came out when his own dog started barking.
They have tried to get into our fence, on the bottom of the fence there on the next door neighbour's side, a couple of months back. Not like this.
The injured man was bitten on the neck and upper body, covered in blood. He was taken to Liverpool Hospital.
Residents around here say the man who was attacked was a private gardening contractor who'd been working around here over the past few days and was touting for new work. He'd just started his day.
Camden Council says it hadn't received any previous complaints about the dogs. Rangers took them both away and...
No previous complaints about the dogs. Just snapped and attacked one day. Right? It's almost guaranteed they're going to do this at least once in their lifetime. Is it right?
But new at 5, a dog attack in the University City area leaves 2 people seriously hurt. That's how we start the 5 p.m. hour. I'm Colin Mayfield.
And I'm Vanessa Rufus. The attack happened this morning near the interchange of I-85 and West Mallard Creek Church Road. And that is where we find WCNC Charlotte's Lexi Wilson, who's diving into what we know about this investigation. Lexi, this is certainly a scary situation for folks in this area.
Definitely, and people who saw the attacks unfold say it was scary and very intense. Neighbors say nothing like this has ever happened before, and people usually have their dogs leashed and controlled.
It was a quiet Monday morning here in the University area.
until it wasn't.
I need animal control, I need ambulance, I need everybody.
Monday morning, Animal Care and Control got a call involving 2 canine Corso mixed dogs. According to CMPD, the owner was walking her 2 dogs on leash when they escaped.
Now, see, now this is bad. Now, if y'all notice, this is like the third media outlet that dealt with this story about these 2 Cane Corso. Here you had a woman walking 2 of them. Picture that. There's no law against that. Like, if a cop saw a woman walking 2 Cane Corsos, why isn't he required to pull her over and arrest her for public endangerment? When we all know full well she can't stop those things. She's a threat. She's a danger. There's no regulation even to that extent. Like, hey, you get a ticket. You can't be walking 2 Cane Corso. No, people are allowed. They make special leashes for you to do that, to walk 2 dogs. That's ridiculous. So we have a long way to go.
That's when they attacked a woman near these apartments.
Those are big dogs.
This happened. This woman who works at the daycare across the street and wishes to remain anonymous says she was able to get the dogs off the first victim when they were attacking.
Her family showed up and they were yelling and screaming, "Are those your dogs? Are those your dogs?" And I'm like, "No, these are not my dogs. I don't know whose dogs these are. I just grabbed the dogs."
And look, they start off, look at all these attacks where they start off on a leash. But yet they talk about keeping a dog on a leash as if that's the way to stop dog attacks. They never stop these attacks. Never. Okay? So nobody's talking about a true solution.
And then next thing you know, the young lady pulls out a gun.
That's when she says the dogs started attacking the woman who pulled out a gun.
It's very concerning.
Animal Care and Control impounded the dogs and they have been euthanized. They were sent to the state laboratory for rabies testing. The dogs did not have...
Some lady pulled out a gun? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I like to hear. It's too bad that she didn't make an example of self-defense in accordance with the law. 2 Cane Corso. What's going on, people?
Well, I think I've got a tweet from Chris Bowen here that I noticed this afternoon. Hopefully we can chuck it up here. But he puts out a headlines talking about the stunning stupidity of the coalition nuclear pushes now in plain view. He's riffing off Q&A from last night. But Susie, that's in the Renew Economy. That is the publication of the renewable sector. The people that the government are trying,
What in the world is this guy talking about? Listen to this. Let me skip past all this nonsense.
The whole world, loyal, intelligent and protective. But on Saturday, something went horribly wrong. The 31-year-old set upon in her backyard in Success by her 2 dogs. Neighbours tried desperately to get the Rottweilers to stop, banging on the fence, spraying them with a hose. But the attack only stopped when police arrived and shot 7-year-old Bronx.
Yeah, just shocking. Now, this comes just a day after an attack in Sydney where, again, a couple of Rottweilers, this time an innocent bloke in his 50s just walking down the street was attacked. Now, last I heard he was in a critical condition. You got to do something about this, Susie?
This is actually the third. There was one in Western Australia, one in New South Wales, and now this poor woman who was attacked by her own dogs, and it is just absolutely heartbreaking. You look at the size of these brutes, they're 60 kilos, and you think that's as big as me, and you think, oh my God, how can she fight that animal off, and this is the animal that she said protected her and loved her. But, you know, these attacks are mounting up and something has to be done. How this is not a restricted dog breed, I just do not understand.
That's the bottom line, Stephen, isn't it? Some of these dogs have to be restricted and some even banned.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably right. I mean, the UK have just banned what they call the American Bully, which I think is what we call the American Pit Bull over here. There are certain breeds that there's no need to have as family pets, and even if you do, there's got to be some, and I hate nanny state regulation, but there's got to be some sort of licensing of dog owners that, you know, if you're going to have one of these aggressive dog breeds, you've got to prove that you can actually manage it. You know, I mean,
how are you supposed to do that? There's no way to do that. Nobody can manage them. Nobody can prove that they can control these things all the time in the future. You have no idea what's going to happen in the future. So you got more promotion of a license, which is worthless, which is a way to make sure dogs stay in society and then nothing happens. That's their goal, is to not do nothing, make sure no changes are made. That XL bully ban is nothing but a way to make
Our other top story tonight.
Make sure no real changes are made. That's all that is. Now, boy, this is going to get worse. This is about to get worse. That Grosse Pointe ban is a fraud. And they get people up there, I don't even want to look at that. They get people up there who just don't know what they're talking about. How many people saw this video where this guy got bit in the neck?
Now at...
Whoa. Now, he is said to have had a disagreement with the guy who released the dog.
Now at 5, we are getting new video in the newsroom of a dog attack near downtown. That man is in the emergency room after the dog bit him in the neck. It happened at West Martin and North Colorado Street near downtown. KENS 5's Andrew Moore joins us live with what police say was no accident. Andrew?
Yes, Deborah, police say now this was definitely intentional, and in fact, they're charging the suspect with 2 different felonies. You're about to see video of this attack as it unfolded. Police say the victim suffered severe lacerations.
Our victim, who got bit by the dog, and the dog owner apparently have some history. They know each other.
Here's what happened on camera. You see the victim with what looks like a lawnmower and the suspect, who police say had a dog on a leash.
They have a history with some bad blood in between them.
They talk, and then the victim backs away. He then bends down to grab something.
Why would you bend down in front of the dog of a person you're having an argument with? That was dumb.
And the dog appears to bite him near the neck and pull him out of view.
At some point, the dog, who was on a leash,
on a leash. They always start out on a leash, don't they? Leashes are worthless.
On their own property, somehow was released to attack the victim.
Police now say the suspect intentionally allowed the dog to attack the victim. Moments later, we see the victim get up and move away. He then staggers across the intersection.
That is very dangerous. He staggers across the intersection after being bitten. I guess he was feeling faint.
The dog to attack the victim. Moments later, we see the victim get up and move away. He then staggers across the intersection towards a local business, and police say he was later taken to the ER. Police later located the suspect and took him into custody.
Yeah. Yeah. This thing went for the neck. Instinct. Nobody taught that dog.
Here in the city, a little boy is recovering.
Nobody ever teaches them. But they always go for the neck. Why is that, experts? See if y'all can tell us something. Teach us something for a change. Why do these things always go for the jugular? Why do they always aim for the neck? Even though nobody taught it or trained it to. You explain that?
From surgery tonight after being bitten in the face.
Now wait a minute. I don't know why I have this. Oh yes I do. Wait a minute. Oh yes. No. That's not what I want. I have way too many videos.
Last night, the Grosse Pointe Shores City Council voted 4-3 to ban pit bulls in the city. It comes after a dog owned by a Detroit Lions player bit another dog, requiring emergency veterinary care.
Similar bans have...
No. This woman is terrible. This attorney. This is terrible. I'll share this. Man, please. I'm not going to play this. But this woman, if you can bear it. But this is what you have going around. These are the type of people they're bringing onto these shows. People who are defending the bully breeds. Even lawyers. So you have even lawyers coming out defending bully breeds. Promoting bully breeds. Even these media outlets, all of them, they're promoting bully breeds. This whole facade is a big promotion of bully breeds. I'm telling y'all that's all this is. And now, if you still don't believe me, if you still think this is a conspiracy theory, how many of you have seen the video titled Ban on American XL Bullies is Racist, argues Leo, is it Curse? Leo Curse? I don't know this guy. Okay, I don't know him. But this was uploaded a week ago. How many of y'all seen this? Ban on American XL Bullies is racist.
The ban on American XL bullies is just racism for doggies. People want to ban them because they say they're overrepresented as perpetrators of certain types of violence. Well, where have we heard that before? We've heard it from racists. That's right, and racism is bad. We know that certain races are overrepresented in certain crime categories. I spent the morning shooting heroin and begging aggressively. It's just what Scottish people do. But racists take these facts and spread them in a racist way. For example...
No, that's what I want to address here. That's not true, what he just articulated. That racists take facts and spread them in a harmful way. He pointed out how certain races are overrepresented in crime statistics. And so this is going to be one of their talking points. They're reaching for anything. People, if they're going to reach for the weather, if they're going to reach for the dog getting the sun glare in its eye and getting annoyed, they're going to reach for anything. Anything. So this shouldn't surprise anyone. When you're talking about arrest statistics, you're dealing with police departments across the United States that are jam-packed with white supremacists. You know what they do? They hop in their squad cars and they go to the black communities. They don't go to their homies' communities who sell them the meth that they use, or in the other drugs, the cocaine that they use, the marijuana. Okay? They don't go hide out in their buddies' neighborhoods and communities, right, where they got their drug hookups and where other crimes are going on. Well, the same crimes. A bunch of drug dealing and drug using. They just go stake out in the black neighborhoods and focus on arresting them. See, statistics can be created. They can be manipulated. That's not the same as dog ownership. In this case, the people who own these things are in love with them. And they claim that the dogs love them and their whole families. That's not the same. But these people are serious about using this comparison. As uncomfortable as it may be to even have to respond to it, sadly, bully breed advocates are so slow that they think this is a true, genuine, serious argument. No. Okay, this is totally different. Y'all in love with these things, and you claim that they are the most loving creatures. These things produce demonic statistics, man. And I'm not talking about XL bullies at all. I'm talking about bully breeds, period.
In America, white supremacists take the 1352 meme and share that around. The 13 relates to the proportion of the population that is African American. And
more lies. People, I will argue anybody. Black Americans are not 13% of this population. Okay, again, you cannot compare this. We're not 13% of this population. I don't even think it's close to 13%. But let's say that we were. It still wouldn't matter because you can still create those statistics. Right? It's all about who and how the laws are enforced and who it's enforced on.
And the 50
and who's enforcing it. Okay? So don't make these silly comparisons. And I am pleading to everyone who uses this argument. You know better. You all know better. Okay?
To relate to the proportion of violent crime that they commit. That is so similar to what's being done with American Bully XLs. I've already seen memes relating to them, saying that some dog breeds are overrepresented as violent criminals.
You see, when your buddy beats somebody up, he doesn't get arrested. The black guy in the hood, he beat somebody up, he get arrested. Oh, that's a black guy violent crime. You can manipulate statistics. And you can't compare that because you owning a pit bull that attacks you, that's not the same as allowing your buddy to go free for committing the same crime that a black guy got arrested for. What world? That doesn't even make sense to try to make that comparison. You can't compare these statistics.
Biting people, killing people. It might be true, but it's also racist and it's giving fuel to racists.
No,
frankly,
discrimination against bully breeds is nothing like racism. Nothing like race. Now, I haven't even touched on this. We're talking about a dog breed, an inbred breed of mutants. Have been crossbred and inbred. They are far more mutated than dogs. They've been physically altered. You can't compare that to somebody's race, to black people. What are you talking about? Ain't nobody bred black people over hundreds of years to attack and kill nobody. What are you talking about? But this is where they've tried to take it. And this video has 44,000 views. So there is a sizable number of people out there who buy into this. Look, almost 300 likes.
It's a dog whistle, and we should ignore it for the good of diversity.
Wow, that's very disrespectful. That's extremely disrespectful to compare the removal, which needs to happen, the removal of bully breeds, not the XL bully. They're talking about the XL bully because they don't want to deal with bully breeds. And she's up here laughing. Nothing is funny right now. Okay, so they're making light over this ban.
Where did we find you? Honestly, it's all facts. Look, I think it's a pretty interesting debate because a friend of mine has one of these.
No, it's not. It's a goofy debate. That's not interesting. It's not brainy. It's not deep. It's not Quasimodo. This idea that being against bully breeds is no different from being against black, that is ridiculous. And that's very offensive. Stop it. It's goofball. And if you're not trying to be offensive with that nonsense, then you are just extremely low IQ and goofy yourself.
XL American bullies. And I was shocked when I found that out because her dog is so placid, so well behaved. And so to say that just because they are that breed, they must behave that way, I think, is a judgment that's...
No! See how he's trying to compare or liken discrimination against bully breed to being a racist by saying, oh, if it looks like a bully breed, then it behaves that way, then it will decide to attack. No, it's about what happens when it attacks. If it's a bully breed, that attack is going to go down a lot different than it would if it was some other breed, especially depending on what type of breed you're talking about, that other breed. If it's a poodle, if it's a Jack Russell, you're going to see much different results. And you're not going to be able to stop that thing. You understand that? How it attacks, the damage it inflicts, its willingness to attack is breed related. Can't compare that to race. So these people are just letting their fangs hang out. Just being just disgusting, primitive. This is very disrespectful.
XL American bullies. And I was shocked when I found that out because her dog is so placid, so well behaved. And so to say that just because they are that breed, they must behave that way, I think, is a judgment that's not necessarily fair. Now, I was terrified of dogs until a few years ago because I had an incident with one when I was very young. Now, that was a Labrador. So are we going to ban every dog that could behave aggressively? I think there's something to be said that it's the owner, not the dog that's...
And another thing I don't like is how these people, and he's doing it right now, how they try to shift the argument to be about the dog's willingness to attack. As if willingness is all you should be concerned with. And breed and the dog's capability is irrelevant. No. And you're either dumb or just being disrespectful for trying to make me believe that. As if it doesn't matter what type of dog it is that attacks you. Yes, it does, dude. And if it's a bully breed, it's more likely to attack. They're more likely to launch an attack because that's what they were bred for. That's why they lead in statistics. Oh, man, oh man. These people.
That's the problem.
Well, you bring a very strong point there, Leo, in terms of we shouldn't generalise about specific breeds like we shouldn't generalise about different races. I think that's a very smart, intelligent, well thought out point, actually.
It's ridiculous to discriminate against an entire race of people just because of how most of them behave.
No, you heard that? It's wrong to discriminate against an entire race of people because of how most of them behave. Suggesting, so he's trying to paint the worst type of picture trying to suggest, first of all, and listen, somebody asks them about that.
Are you saying most black people behave poorly?
No, that's not what I was saying. I was actually referring to Scottish people.
Right. Are you saying most Scottish people behave poorly?
Yes.
Well, they do. Right. Well, I think I would disagree with that. Look, and I would...
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Comparing us to a breed of mutants. Mutants that were specifically inbred, biologically inbred. Man, I will slap you, backhand you. Compare no race of people to a group of inbred, mutated dogs. These things ain't even dogs no more. I think it's incorrect to even refer to bully breeds as dogs, even dogs.
It's an entire race of people just because of how most of them behave.
Are you saying most black people behave poorly?
No, that's not what I was saying. I was actually referring to Scottish people.
Right. Are you saying most Scottish people behave poorly?
Yes.
Well, they do. Right. Well, I think I would disagree with that. Look, and I would disagree on the points made about the American Bully XL. Look, I'm a dog skeptic. I realise this isn't a popular position in Britain, but my mother hates dogs, and I'm very similar to my mother, so I inherited
all of them.
That characteristic. I hate all dogs.
Hang on, can we just get...
Well, finally, we get somebody on the show, on a show, who hates all dogs and uses and says it like that. Hates all dogs. Let me back that up. Finally, we have a slither of common sense seeping through. Right? Oh boy, let me back that up.
With that. Look, and I would disagree on the points made about the American Bully XL. Look, I'm a dog skeptic. I realise this isn't a popular position in Britain, but my mother hates dogs, and I'm very similar to my mother, so I inherited
all of them.
That characteristic. I hate all dogs.
Hang on.
I hate all dogs. This guy, he beat me to it. He got on to one of these shows with my narrative, with my phrase. Huh? That's what I'd start off with. Now, that'd be my nickname, my moniker. I'd have that on my t-shirt if I were to go onto this show. I hate all dogs. I'm dead serious. Probably ever had to match. But this guy got up there and beat me to it. Now, I don't know and don't care where he got that idea, but I like it.
Can we just get... Sorry to interrupt,
yes,
but can we just get a picture of my dog up, please? Can we? There he is. Now, this dog. You're telling me you hate this dog. Bobby, Bob, the Bobmeister, whatever you want to call him.
To be quite frank, I'd rather it was a cat. Look, the point is that I think all dogs...
Oh, man. He said he would rather it be a cat, and then he moved on. Moved on past that point. That was a good idea. See, in that regard, I can respect the cat lover. That's something that a cat lover would do. This is something that a cat lover would say. And they had to give him a pass for hating dogs because at least he loves cats. So he is an animal lover, right? So you can't come down too hard on him for hating dogs or for saying I hate dogs. You see, it's that simple. I don't know what everybody so afraid of. Just come out and say it. Don't be afraid. And this go for everybody. So many people have left comments over years on this channel. Oh, I kept it to myself. Oh, I didn't want to say nothing. Just come straight out and say it straight up. And people will have to respect you.
Dogs, which could potentially kill a human, apart from working dogs, should actually be banned. Why does someone need a Doberman or...
Whoa. Y'all heard what he said? He sounds exactly like somebody who'd be in the chat room.
Now, this dog. You're telling me you hate this dog. Bobby, Bob, the Bobmeister, whatever you want to call him.
To be quite frank, I'd rather it was a cat. Look, the point is that I think all dogs which could potentially kill a human, apart from working dogs, should actually be banned. Why does...
All dogs that could potentially kill a human should be banned. That's the kind of common sense that I've been waiting for somebody to lay down on one of these media outlets. That's what I've been waiting for. Huh? I've been here live for what? Going on 2 hours now? How long have we been here? Hour and 40 minutes. Finally, I get around to somebody who shares common sense. He didn't go overboard, mind you. For all the dog lovers, he didn't go overboard. You know, he didn't stretch. That wasn't a stretch. He wasn't being ridiculous. Don't try it. Don't try it. Don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. Okay? It's that easy. Don't be afraid.
And why does someone need a Doberman or a Rottweiler or a German Shepherd if it's not a working dog? I think if you're having your small little... What is it, a cockapoo? That's fine.
Yes.
Relatively innocuous, harmless. I can deal with it like a small irritant. But those big dogs, terrifying. Ban them.
You don't want a cockapoo?
No, I don't.
Just say, I think obviously you were slightly tongue-in-cheek, or maybe you really believe that. It's hard to tell most weeks. But what I would say is there is a level of sort of classism in this, because a Rottweiler or other massive dogs like that are very expensive to keep. So you get quite a few middle-class people for whom that's their dog of choice, because it's really not cheap. But a dog like this, which is often among sort of, you know, they're popular among some working-class men on some council estates, is it a judgment about whether they really deserve to have the pleasure of a dog, or whether they can be trusted in a way that...
Okay, now, stop. He's taking the discussion somewhere it doesn't need to go. Okay? We should have stretched that conversation about how all dogs that could potentially kill someone needs to be banned. Finally, you get around to somebody who's talking some sense, and it gets treated like some type of joke and ignored. Oh, let's move on. Oh, ha, real funny, and they move on. No. All dogs that can kill, all large dogs, need to be banned, and we all know it. Now, we know that's most likely not going to happen, especially here in the United States. We know that. But we also know what's not going to happen is we, the anti-dog people, we're never going to be lovers of dogs, ever, and y'all know it. We're going to be anti-dog for the rest of our life, and all of you know it. So what you need to do is get together all of your big finances and build us some communities. Dog-free. I don't care if we have it gated, fenced and gated, electric gated, fenced. Have all types of precaution. Keep all dogs out of our territories. We need dog-free territory. You understand? Just living around nutters is an inconvenience, to say the least. To say the least. Y'all never gonna get it right. As soon as y'all decide to have a real discussion like adults about the threat that dogs pose to society, you play games and ban only the XL bully and pretend like you're actually doing something. You know they will never get it right if this is as much as they're willing to do. Oh, we'll add one more bully breed to the already list that's not working. Right? You think now, over there in the UK, this is the 5th bully breed added to that list, if I'm not mistaken, right? Why would you do that? And doesn't having 4 on the list and it still not work tell you that adding a 5th is not going to work? And they went and did it anyways, right in front of everybody. That's the crazy thing. Right in front of our faces. re-implemented a failed system. That is it's so frustrating. And to see nobody with a large platform, nobody who's respected, nobody with power, actually saying these things, pointing these things out. Nobody's pointing out. It's like I'm in a twilight zone, man. Is anybody, maybe I'm wrong, hopefully I'm wrong. If anybody is actually speaking on these issues and they have a large audience, let me know. Please share it with me. I need a video like that in my life right about now, because the nonsense is, man, I'm overwhelmed. I've seen a lot of ups and downs as far as these news shows, people being up in an uproar about dog attacks. But this is worse than I've ever seen. As far as the propaganda that's going around, people, there's something serious going on with dogs. They have a serious plan, if you ask me. I don't think it's by coincidence that they are making an effort to make sure these attacks keep happening. I don't think that's a coincidence. I don't think they're accidentally or coincidentally doing that. At a certain level, you want to put an end to deaths. After so many deaths, a group of humane people will say, look, man, this is too much. It's time to do something about this, to put an end to these murders. These are murders that are all preceded with torture. It's not even like they're being blown up or evaporated. It's not like they're dying instantly, a harmless death, a painless death like the dog gets to enjoy. No, everyone is tortured first. Okay, now if that's happening to all adults, that's very, very bad. But when you include kids, there's nothing to talk about. You have to put an end to whatever is launching murders like that. There's nothing to talk about. Okay, anything. Again, don't get me wrong. Even if it were only adult victims, they would need to be banned. I don't want to die like that. And I shouldn't accept my parents, grandparents. I don't want them being killed like that. That Ian Price video. We shouldn't accept our loved ones, our family, being killed like that. And it's not worth it. So you'd have a discussion or a debate even if it involved only adults. But the fact that, man, these things over 50% of the time launch these attacks on kids and babies and toddlers. Are you out of your mind? What are we talking about? At this point now, I'm looking and wondering why you haven't put an end to it yet. And I'm starting to suspect that there's a reason why you haven't put an end to it yet. And starting to suspect that you want it to keep happening. Okay? Now, am I wrong to suspect that? Y'all implementing another failed ban? No bans here in the United States. They're removing bans over here in the U.S. Y'all want this ritual to continue, it seems like. Some kind of crazy, sick form of sacrifice. Daily sacrifice. They get daily blood. Y'all remember Mel Gibson also talked about how those Hollywood people, they be up there drinking blood. Y'all remember he was talking about that? It was like, yeah. He said that the blood of a child who was traumatized and terrified before the child died was the most expensive and valued. They had some ritual, according to him, allegedly. said they consumed blood. They would drink it, I guess, believing that it would extend their life or help them to live longer. And he said that the blood of a child who was terrified before death was the most valued, the most prized. And this is the norm in Hollywood. And it's not just Hollywood, the music industry as well. Really? Now, this is all allegedly, but it makes you wonder. You know, when you look up and you see this effort to make sure that these types of attacks continue to happen, it makes you wonder what is going on. What's going on? Right? Dog attacks skyrocket at the same time that this cult skyrockets. And this cult, if you notice, has a lot of power. They really control the music industry. They control Hollywood. The people involved in this, they're extremely powerful. Do y'all know that after you die, your blood, it remains, it has life in it for several hours after you die? Do y'all know that? After you die, your blood is still alive for a few hours after you die. Now, I'm not saying anything. I'm just pointing that out. I'm just sharing some science with y'all. No allegations here, nothing like that. Big shout out to everybody. I can't believe I've been on here almost 2 hours. I usually don't have live streams this long, right? But I don't mind it. BK Born in the house. Lux in the building. What's going on? It's Friday. We made it. We made it. No, it's not Friday. It's Saturday. What am I talking about? Oh, man, this weekend is going by way too fast already. I thought it was Friday. That's terrible. I'm going to soak up tomorrow. Oh, yeah, I'm going to look at the clock every 5 minutes. Oh, man. October around the corner. So it's getting cold. So we should start to see, at least people in my area, some of the dogs less often, hopefully. Around October also is trick or treat. So we're going to get another wave of attacks around that time. Boy, oh boy, that's the most dangerous time of the year, isn't it? Halloween. So sad. Let's hope we have a much brighter future. And I hope to see you all on the next live stream as we continue with this crusade.